Hello and welcome to Mind the Science. I'm Imogen Peckett and today we have a very exciting theme for the episode. It's World Creativity Day, so the Mind the Science team are getting their aprons on and gathering their art supplies. We have a lot in store for you today to show you all the ways science can be creative. Now, you might think that science is all long journal articles and fluorescent lab lighting, but today we're going to look a little bit closer. First, we'll be meeting an artist who blends science and creativity in her work and asking some questions about this interesting intersection. Then, we'll follow a live creative chat session with our science sleuth Lauren, who will explain how nature gets creative whilst doing some art herself. After this, you'll join me on a colour walk, a fun activity which will take me through the city to track down a rainbow of flowers and discover fun facts about each one. Then, we'll be joined by Martha, who will give a live demonstration of flower pressing, talk about green prescribing and how art is good for your mental health. Finally, we'll announce the winner of our Science Creativity Challenge, Create for a Better Planet. Earlier this week, we asked you to show us how to get creative with science, and your responses were brilliant. We have received over 20 entries for our challenge, including lots of fabulous photographs from some of our star listeners, including Ellie, Callum and the Cooper family. The Mind the Science team have chosen our top 6, and it's up to you, our live audience, to pick the winner. Here's the QR code, scan to vote. Today is all about championing creativity, so let's make sure to show our contestants some love for getting creative. Over to our science sleuth Lauren to learn how science gets creative.
Hi, I'm Lauren, and today I'm going to be talking to you about science melding with creativity. But something feels a little bit off. Perfect! See, life is so much better in colour, but the world of science is often a bit black and white. But with a bit of creativity, we're going to find out ways that we can fix that. Today, we're diving into why art isn't just decoration. It's becoming a powerful tool to connect people with science. And we're extremely lucky today to meet someone who exists on the intersection between these two different themes. Alex Herzl is an artist, bee activist, and science communicator. She uses multimedia to blend augmented reality and reality in a way that can tell a narrative about science. So, we're really lucky to be joined with Alex today. Hi, Alex.
Hello, Lauren, Immie and Martha.
So Alex, what inspired you to combine science and art?
I think we're living at an incredible time of science understanding, of incredible machines such as nano microscopes that allow us to look at the natural world in a way that has never happened before, and that is incredibly important to understand how climate change is going to change all these things. I think it's a fantastic time to look at science and try and understand the natural world.
Lovely. And what do you love about the natural world?
It's in complexity. It's interrelation between insects and plants. It's the absolute minute that we didn't realise as a community, as a global community, was so crucial. How tiny particles interact, how the minutest changes in the environment can have a catastrophic change on a much larger scale. I think that's completely amazing, and we're lucky to be understanding it.
Awesome. And I'd love to speak to you about augmented reality in your pieces. What were the key successes and maybe some of the challenges?
I think it's fantastic because it allows you to be very playful, open it up to new audiences. It's fantastic for telling stories, and you can think about complex themes. So I was trying to work out how to do static or smell in a visual way, in a way that did not involve touch because it was done during COVID, or smell because you didn't want people to smell actual stuff. So augmented reality allows the sense that somebody has their own way of interacting on their own scale using their own phone I think that's great. I think it's better than having a headset on where you lose reality around you. Well, it's challenges, but it's been a very steep learning curve. There's a lot to get your head around. You have to decide exactly how you want it all to move, how to do all the imagery, and how to put it all together. And then one of its challenges is that it's expensive because somebody else uploads it. Wonderful Zuba in Bristol. Another challenge is that Meta, brilliant Meta, have just removed the platform that we uploaded. It was called Spark AR, and they took it offline.
And why do you think that communicating science through art is so effective?
Well, I think it always has been. I think artists can tell stories. In fact, I would say they have a responsibility to try and tell a story, whichever way it might be. I have been a conceptual artist, but I do enjoy the actual act of painting and drawing and working out layouts and things. And I think images can tell 1,000 words, and it's a very easy way to cut through quite complex science. And that's one of the things that Dr. Dave Lawson and I worked on very intensely.
That is awesome, Alex. And finally, do you have any other projects that you'd like to share with us today?
My future ideas, well, that's never a problem. Future ideas come at me all the time. My problem is actually carrying them out. I'm trying to do a piece about soil interaction, tree interaction. I've been looking at fungal interaction, sort of funguses and toadstools and things. But I also want to just carry on with bees. It's an everlasting subject. Bees, but other insects as well, beetles, butterflies. I'll be happy until I'm forever 100, just working out all this. I hadn't realised how artwork has informed my understanding of the natural world.
Well, thank you so much again. It's been an absolute treat having you on, and everyone should go and check out Alex Herzl's work. It is truly inspirational. And with that, I'm feeling compelled to make my own art inspired by nature. I'll see you down at the studio. So I made it back to the studio, and I'm feeling excited to blend science and art in my own way. So I have a lot of art supplies in front of me, and I also have some very exciting subject matter. Let's see if we can get a little close up on that. This beauty right here is a pink oyster mushroom, lovingly grown by our very own Imogen Peckett. Just look at it, the soft folds, the ruffled edges, and the pinky sort of coral hue. So I'm feeling extremely inspired by this, and I'm going to sort of start colouring a little sketch I did of it already. So what's super interesting about these pink oyster mushrooms is that these frilled caps aren't just for show. They're actually a really clever way to increase the surface area of the mushroom, which is really important for the release of spores, which is a part of the mushroom's reproductory cycle. So these bad boys are edible, and they require a dark, humid conditions to grow the best. And what I learned recently about these amazing fungi is that they're being used in a really interesting application. They're actually being used as the part of a solar photovoltaic cell, where the dyes are used in dye-assisted photovoltaic cells, which is super interesting. So next we're traveling to Australia for another very creative part of nature, the bowerbird. So bowerbirds are named after the bowers that they make. They make these very intricate sort of houses out of sticks, but what I find the most interesting and creative is that they actually go around, the male bowerbirds, to attract a mate. they will search for little pieces of sort of coloured berries or flowers, and sometimes even plastic. And it's really important to them. And it actually baffles some animal behaviourists because they think that bowerbirds might have developed some sort of culture. So they seem to be learning from each other, and they're very, very, very careful and picky about how they decorate their homes. So who knew? Interior design is for birds too. There we have our lovely bowerbird sketch. And finally, one of my favourites, the octopus. So octopi are brilliant at camouflage. They have these cells within their bodies called chromatophores, which can not only change colour, but they can also change morphology, which means that an octopus can actually change the texture of its skin. And they do that both to find prey and hunt prey, but also as a defense mechanism. But what I found out recently, which is super interesting, is that octopuses seem to be using tools, and quite specifically coconut shells. So they've been seen to sort of wear these costumes, and it's a sort of unique way of solving a problem, and it adds a bit of shelter to their quite soft-shelled bodies. But again, animal behaviourists find it so interesting because they're quite cumbersome for a small octopus. But actually, they have developed this new way of walking to accommodate the fact that they're holding these coconuts on their back. And it's called stilt walking, and it's what I've sketched out today. And I just think it's absolutely fascinating, this sort of creative way of solving problems. And voila, my lovely octopus. So each of these animals uses creativity, not so much for fun like me, but for survival, communication, and connection. Nature doesn't separate science from art, it embodies both. So thank you so much for joining me for this celebration of scientific creativity for World Creativity Day. From mushroom frills to ingenious birds, the natural world is brimming with inspiration. Now, we're taking this creativity outside, and we're going to join our explorer extraordinaire, Immie, for a colour walk, where we're going to tune in to the shapes, the textures, and the colours all around us. I'll see you out there.
I've grabbed my camera to get a closer look at the colours of the season and flower by flower uncover the science behind the beauty. You don't have to go far to find colours in the spring. It's all around us, tucked into little wild corners around the city.
This area just outside the university isn't wild by accident. It's been planted to support pollinators in the city. A pocket of colour and biodiversity, designed with purpose, and a great place to look for a flower rainbow. For white, we've got the oxeye daisy. Like many of their relatives, they exhibit heliotropism, meaning their heads follow the sun, staying visible to pollinators.
For yellow, we have the meadow buttercup, bright, beautiful, but bitter. Meadow buttercups contain natural compounds that make them unappetising to grazers. For orange, we have the pot marigold. Their petals are packed with carotenoids, the same pigment that give carrots their bright orange colour. For red, we have common poppies. Their bright red petals have been used by humans for centuries, with their natural red dye colouring medicines, wines, and even potpourri. For pink, we have the common sainfoin, which means healthy hay in French. It's rich in nectar, reduces methane when grazed by livestock, and supports soil biodiversity. For magenta, we've got foxgloves, which guide bees with precision, their purple spots acting like landing lights, showing pollinators exactly where to go. For purple, we have the common knapweed. It's a top nectar source in UK meadows, with thistle-like blooms that are pollinator magnets buzzing with bees. For light purple, we have the Serbian bellflower, which thrive on city walls and cracks,
forming tiny insect shelters, with star-shaped blooms ideal for solitary bees. For blue, we have love in a mist, wrapped in a lacy halo of bracts, giving it a misty look. The name might be romantic, but it's a tough little pollinator-friendly plant.
It's amazing what you can find when you really look. Each bloom has its own story. It's not just about their colour, but their ecology. These bellflowers are perfect for flower pressing. Let's take some to Martha and see what she can create.
Wow, all those entries are great. We have some very talented viewers. I particularly like the 2 mushroom ones. Now, I'm going to show you how you can get creative at home through flower pressing. Now, don't worry, this is really easy and only requires a few components. First, in order to flower press, you'll need to get some flowers. I picked these earlier and Immie brought me some more on her colour walk. Okay, so you need to pick the flowers off slowly and carefully remove them from the stem. If you're using a bouquet of flowers or ones from your garden, you might want to use scissors to detach them. But generally, if you really gently remove them, it's really easy. I have some Serbian bellflowers here and some daisies. Okay, so I've detached a few flowers. Now, you need to grab your heaviest book to press them in. I think this one should work. They're very heavy. I'll pop that back on there and open the book. Okay, so now you need to use some kitchen roll. Or if you don't have any, baking paper works as well. So if you lie this on there nice and flat and the book is even, then grab your flowers, and I like to make sure that they're arranged nice and spread apart so that it's really obvious when you come and get them. So make sure that the way the book is folding, it's not going to smush them when you fold it. And just gently place them onto the paper. Don't worry too much about designs at this point because you're going to be able to move them around when you press them, after you press them. Okay, so I'm really carefully going to fold over the book now. Like that. Now, you want to place your book in the middle of a very heavy pile. Luckily, I have a pile right here. And then you want to leave these for about 2 weeks in a nice, warm, dry part of your house. And then after a couple of weeks, you should have some beautiful flowers which you can create a design with. I did some last week. And they're in this notebook. Just open this. This is the first time I'm seeing these and they look really good. So I've got some nice flowers here and you just want to grab something to stick them down on, like some card. And then this is really important. Once you've arranged your flowers in a nice design, you need to make sure that you glue the paper and not the flowers, as they're really delicate. And a little hack, if you dab some glue on your finger, you can pick them off much easier. And then keep arranging them. Now this type of artwork is so relaxing, and it's actually a type of green prescribing, which is where you go out in nature or do nature-involved activities, and it's supposed to improve your mental health. So I've created a nice design that I'm happy with here, so now I'm going to start gluing. Like I said before, glue the paper, not the flowers. And then Now, this is a really versatile form of art making. You can create nice personal greetings cards with them, or you can put them in a photo frame, or even make a bookmark. But what I'm doing here is just creating a nice little collage. I've just got two more petals to stick down, and then it should be all done. Last petal, and this is my design. Now, as I said before, you can also arrange these in a photo frame. I did this one earlier, and you can display it in your house. Now, if you need a much needed break from your phone, or you're having a bad day, why not give flower pressing a try? Well, that's all from me, but don't forget to vote. Those entries are so amazing. I don't know which one I'd vote for, but let's see those amazing entries again. And remember to vote.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that final look at all the amazing entries we received for our Create for a Better Planet challenge. I don't know about you, but it's genuinely moving to see how much love for nature exists in our community. I also hope you enjoyed that wonderful ad for our master's course, Science Communication for a Better Planet, getting a taste for the fun we have here. From art in nature to science and creativity, we hope you're as inspired as I am. What a show it's been. It's clear that nature makes us feel good. Here at Mind the Science, we love teaching you about fascinating research behind well-being. And it might surprise you that studies show how nature can impact this. Jason Barragan and their team did a fantastic review on the impact of nature connectedness on the human well-being. They showed that physically being in nature isn't only the way to reap the well-being benefits. Psychological connection, meaning seeing yourself as part of nature, can help us find enjoyment and relax. Hopefully the creative ideas we have shared today make for a good way to get that connected feeling that scientifically makes us feel good. From Alex Hertzl's stunning cloud-based artwork and her collaboration with scientists, we joined Lauren in the studio for her live art session. We found a rainbow of real flowers blooming right in the city, wrapped up with Martha's beautiful flower pressing demo. That moment, watching creativity and science blend so simply and meaningfully, really captured the spirit of the show. We asked you to show us what creativity inspired by nature looks like in our Create for a Better Planet challenge. And the response has been incredible. We had over 20 beautiful submissions, as you've seen, and received a stunning mix of photos, paintings, pottery, sketches, and real recycled sculptures. Honestly, it was not easy to pick a shortlist, but after much discussion, the Mind the Science team chose 6 finalists. And earlier today, during the episode, we opened the vote to you, our live audience. And now, the voting has officially closed. Thank you so much to everyone who voted. And of course, to everyone who entered. You made our jobs simultaneously harder, but all the more interesting. The winner of the Create for a Better Planet challenge is Gabby Cooper with their piece, Watching, a beautiful underwater photograph of a Galapagos fur seal investigating the photographer. Oh, I love that picture. The curiosity in the face of that seal is just stunning. Made me laugh, made me smile. Thank you so much, Gabby. That was a great thing to give to us. Congratulations, and you've captured exactly what today was about, using creativity to connect with the world around us. Creativity and science might seem opposite, but this episode has been such a wonderful reminder that science isn't just data and lab coats. It's also joy and play and exploration and emotion. As Albert Einstein said, creativity is intelligence having fun. On an important note, creativity has the power to change how people see science and how they care for the planet. In a time when the planet needs new ideas and imaginative solutions, your art reminded us of what we're fighting for. If you've been inspired by what you've seen today, don't stop here. Keep making, keep creating, and why not share your work? Don't go anywhere. We've got another fantastic episode coming right up after the break. Think Blue Peter, but a little greener, because next up is Green Sam to learn about an interesting mammal. Stick around, it's going to be great. From Mind the Science team, thank you so much for watching and for celebrating World Creativity Day with us in a true science communication style. Stay curious, stay creative, and as always, create for a better planet.